Hello again! Today is the day we finally paint a base set Venusaur. And yes, this is an original base set Venusaur. This card was sent in by my good friend Zaba to be painted. This card is certainly not mint condition by any means, but if it were, let's say like a PSA 10, it would be sitting at about $6,600 at the time of this recording. Because this card is a holographic card, I will be using acetone to strip the top layer of ink off of the card. This just allows me to utilize the holofoil later on in the painting and to better incorporate it into the final image. Like I've said before, if you wish to use acetone yourself to strip your own cards, please do so with gloves on and in a well-ventilated area. The base set cards are notoriously difficult at stripping because of how well they used to be printed. The yellow border on these older cards in particular is very thick and nearly impossible to get off the card without a ton of elbow grease, so I usually opt to just leave them and just paint over them when I can. I didn't end up removing all of the top layer just because I will be covering up a majority of the card with paint, and I just felt it would be redundant to work so hard just to cover it up in the end. And this is a white jelly roll gel pen. Again, I use this pretty often, and I just use it to sketch out my concept before I begin painting. I do my typical gray base layer here. This just allows the paint to adhere to the card more easily. I typically do 2 coats just to ensure I cover everything up well. My plan for this card was to use mostly toned down colors to help make the Venusaur pop more. To achieve this, you will see that I mix a lot of colors with their complementaries to dull them out, and I will also be shading with primarily blues and purples to create really cool, as in perceived temperature, shadows. The tree bark color is a mixture of green and red, with the highlights having yellow added in. The leaves and grass are mostly just your typical primary green, with dark blue added for shadows and more yellow for highlights. For now, while I continue painting, I will just give a bit of background for this guy. The original base set, one of the most popular sets, released in America in 1999, almost 3 years after it came out in Japan. It consisted of 102 cards, 33 of those being trainer cards, and despite being the first set of Pokémon cards released, the set only featured 69 of the 151 Gen 1 Pokémon. The missing Mons would later be released in the Jungle and Fossil sets. This card, of course, was illustrated by Mitsuhiro Arita, as were a majority of the cards in the base set, and there have been a few reprints of this card that I will show you now on the screen. The Trade Please Venusaur, which featured a different artwork by Ken Sugimori, the second base set Venusaur, and the Legendary Collection Venusaur. Venusaur itself has been printed on 38 English cards, the most recent being Venusaur V from Champion's Path. It has also been featured in cards with several other Pokémon, including Celebi, Snivy, Vileplume and Scyther, and Dratini. Unfortunately, there really isn't much more to explain about this card, so I will just leave you guys to watch the rest of the painting for now. I hope you all enjoy, and I'll see you guys in a bit. I did just want to pop in again real quick to explain what I'm doing here. You can actually color on top of holofoil while still letting the holo show through with any alcohol-based markers. Here I am using a green Sharpie just to add a green tint to the background. And that about wraps it up for Venusaur here. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'm still working on uploading more regularly, and if you have any questions about my method, feel free to ask down below in the comments. I list all my materials that I used and everything else in the description, but otherwise I will see you all again next time. See you later. Bye bye.